Okay.
Were you muted?
I think I've muted it now. Check again. Type in the comment section. You should hear it. I should see it. They said they couldn't hear me. I'm sorry about that. So once again, good evening, everyone. How are we doing? And how have we been? It's been a while since we had our live sessions, isn't it? I personally have missed our live sessions, but yes, we are back now. And today we're going to be talking about a very important topic that is so dear to me, and it is the power of childhood. The power of childhood. If you can hear me and if you can see me, can you please put it in the comment section? If you can hear me, you can see me, can you please put it in the comment section? And can you please share this link so others can join us, because we're going to be talking about something that is so powerful, yet we don't know the power of childhood. When it comes to childhood is like I said, is a precious, is a blessing and a precious gift. That we all have. The gift of a child is a gift. I don't know how to comprehend. I don't even know how to explain. The gift of a child is such a powerful gift that even money cannot buy it. That's why you see a lot of people. It takes, like, some people, it takes them a lot, to have hmm, the gift of a child. Money cannot buy it. That's the truth. Money cannot buy it. Money cannot buy it. And sometimes I wonder when I hear parents say, oh my, when they complain about their children, oh, my child is this, my child is that, they just whine, complain. The other day, I met a lady and all I asked is, how is your child? And the next thing is, she's so naughty. She's so naughty. She's so naughty. Like, she said she's so naughty, like over 4 times. And in my head, how was your child? Was just what I asked you. Nothing else. And everything you said was, she's so naughty. If you can say your child is naughty, what do you think? What would you expect? It's naughtiness, isn't it? It's a naughty behavior that you're going to expect, because that's what you're seeing and that's what you're saying. So you saying it is already a prophecy, and that's what the child will exhibit, you know, and a child is a child, like I said, every child is a child. You say your child is naughty without even understanding that those naughtiness, those behaviors, those negative behaviors that child is exhibiting is a blessing in disguise. It's just that you don't understand how to see the blessing in it, because it's a developmental behavior, it's an expected behavior. So there's a blessing in it, because if that child doesn't even exhibit those behaviors, how are you going to know what to work on? How are you going to see the gap, in your parenting? So it's always a blessing. And how oh, that behavior, it might be that it's tied to their, to their potentials, to their natural gift and all that, because it's true, these behaviors, like, many a times you see them. So why not see the blessing in it, you know? instead of the negative aspects. So let's see what we have here. So today we're going to be looking at the power of childhood. What is childhood? Why is childhood important? People who had their childhood taken away from them. Like, we'll be looking at someone like Michael Johnson, Regina Daniels, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Drew Barrymore, and the rest of them. And how are we taking childhood away from our children in our age and time? Effect of taking childhood away. When you take childhood away from your child, what are the effects? What are the negative effects? What can we do to help our children enjoy childhood? How do we balance? This was a question someone asked me on Facebook after I commented on someone's post around, childhood and all of that. And then someone asks, I'm going to read the question out, but it's part of it. How do we balance a child's natural gifts and their childhood? So in my introduction, I think I've said this: every child is a blessing and every child is a gift. Yeah. So instead of complaining, seeing all of those, see it as a blessing, because it is what you see. It is what you see, what you say that you will see. If you keep saying negative, if you keep seeing negative, your child will exhibit it. That's the truth. So you need to focus on what is the positive aspect of your child. Before you know, your child will start living it, instead of she's naughty, she's naughty, and all that. And in today's fast-paced world, many children are losing the season of childhood too soon. We are pushing them to grow into adults. We are pushing them to act as a child and to act as adults. We are pushing them, to just grow fast. There's this pressure. I want my child to grow up so quick. I want my child to be adult, to turn into adults. And because of that, we are making them do adult things, and all of that. So we don't worry, we'll look into them in details. And we're pushing them to behave like adults. We're forcing them to act like an adult. We're making them compete. We're pushing them to perform, doing things that is not that is beyond or above their age expectations. All in the name of we want them to, just come off that childhood. So, and when we do this, we are gradually and quietly robbing them of their childhood. Remember, childhood, 0 to 18 of a child is just once. Once a child loses it, is the child have lost it forever. Is zero, is once. Once a child lost it, that's it for life, you know. So let's be honest. Many of us, we didn't even realize how powerful our own childhood was until we became adults. We became adults. That's when many of us started realize, oh, I didn't have childhood. I didn't do this. I didn't do that when I was a child. We came to realize all of those things. Immediately we turned adults. Like Michael Jackson, he said, and I quote, the magic, the wonder, the innocence of a child's heart are the seeds of creativity that will heal the world. Many adults, like I said, they didn't have childhood. And for many, fame took that part away from them. The same way societal pressure is taking that childhood away from your child, from your children. You're letting societal pressure take childhood away from your child. Dear parents, is that what we want? Remember, I often say it is not about now, it's about the future, right? Now, remember, childhood is not just a phase, but the foundation of who we become. Foundation childhood is going to be the determine what your child's childhood will determine what they will become in their future. Whatever childhood they have will be determinant of their future, their adulthood. As parents, teachers, caregivers, we must protect that foundation with everything we have got, with everything we have. With what are those things? With knowledge. With knowledge, you need knowledge. Because if you don't have knowledge, you don't even know what to do. You don't know how to protect it. So we need to protect it with one of the things we can use to protect it is knowledge. Now let's see what is childhood. Every time I talk about childhood, this childhood of 18, what is it? What does it even mean? Now I have here, I say childhood is simply a state of being a child. It is, if you watch me or if you read my posts or my videos, you hear that I often say every child is a child. Let a child be a child. Let's don't take childhood away from a child, all in the name of what? Parenting. Childhood is simply the state of a child being a child. And you may want to ask, what is a child or who is a child? A child is anyone under, according to law, under 18 years of age or under 18 years, that is 18 years old. A child is someone who is still developing emotionally. A child is one who is still developing physically. A child is someone who is still developing socially. A child is one who is still developing mentally. And a child is one who is relying on adults for care and guidance, meaning they don't have it. So they rely on us adults for their care, for their guidance. No wonder we say parenting is about, guiding your children, guiding them, not forcing them, not controlling them, not being, authoritarian. No, you guide them. That's what childhood is all about. A child is also a divine preparation period. a child is also a preparation period. What are those preparation? What do we prepare our children for? Before they get to adulthood. Remember, we said it is between 0 and 18 years. So what are those things we prepare them for? First is we're preparing them for emotional intelligence. We're preparing them for self-awareness. We're preparing them for financial literacy. We're preparing them to learn how to problem solve, how to think critically without us thinking for them. Because remember, we're not going to be with them all the time. So we are preparing them so that when that time comes, we will release them. And because we are fully prepared them, they will be able to depend on themselves without having not to be calling, oh, mommy, what can I do? Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to take bus pass. Which bus stop? How do I? They want to take decision. They don't need to be calling you because you have already prepared them from 0 till the 18 years. And even when they turn 18, you are still going to be there, still guiding until they are fully, you know, prepared or fully developed, because it takes 25 years old for a child's brain to be fully developed. So you can still see 18 years. She's still a child because her brain is still not fully developed. So how else or what else are you preparing them for? You're preparing them for, like I said, critical thinking, problem solving, resilience. You're teaching them how you're teaching them learn how to, and to build resilience. You're building resilience in them, because that is one of the greatest gifts you can give your child. Because whether we like it or not, challenges will come, trials will come, life eventualities will come. But if they don't have resilience, forget it. We're also teaching them how to make healthy choices and decisions, how to make healthy boundaries and all that. So childhood is also a time to play, it's a time to learn. I know when I say play, many of you or some of you, if you can hear me, if you can still see me, can you please put it in the comment section? Let me even be sure that this comment section is working. Can you say hi in the comment section? And also, can you please help me share this live so that other people can join us? To learn is a time to play, is a time. If you are here, you believe in play, or you played as a child, put it in the comment section. Or you are allowed to play as a child, put it in the comment section. And if you are here, you have children, you allow them to play, they play, put it in comment section as well. Let's see. It's a time to grow and to be nurtured in love before stepping into adulthood. So childhood is not wasted time, but it's a period of shaping what? Destiny. It's a period. Remember earlier we said it's a period of preparation. So it's also a period of shaping destiny, because a child is a destiny, is a life. So that period of childhood is a period of shaping them. So that whatever you have prepared them to will lead them into adulthood. Now let's see, why is childhood? Why is it important? Childhood, childhood isn't just a phase, but isn't just a phase of life of a child, but the foundation of who a child becomes. It is the foundation of who a child becomes. Who your child become in adulthood, like I said, will be dependent on their childhood. Who your child will become in adulthood will be dependent on their childhood. So that's why we say childhood is a period of preparation. If you prepare them well, they will have a good what? A good adulthood. It's also a season of play, where they learn resilience as a skill, where they feel safe and secured. Okay. Now, okay. So one of the importance of childhood is, one, it teaches emotional safety. Emotional safety. Childhood is where we first learn it's okay for a child to cry. It's okay for a child to cry. Crying, it's okay, it's normal. When a child cries, it's fine. The child is expressing his emotions, because if a child don't express that emotion, you're not preparing that child for, to learn. You're not helping that child learn emotional regulation. you know, a boy is crying. It's okay for a child, a boy to cry. Not, oh, it's okay. You're a man. Men don't cry. Who says men don't cry? If that man doesn't cry, how is he going to be able to regulate his emotions? How is he going to be able to know what he's feeling if he doesn't understand how is he going to be able to regulate his emotion, or express himself and all that? So one of the importance is it helps them regulate their emotions. Like the other day, I think I made a video of it. You can check it out on my YouTube page, where my son, we just made a law in our home that we will not be going to the food stand, or the food stand after church service, to take snacks or something like that and things like that. The first 3 times, after we made that decision, my son cried. And it was okay. It was a normal thing. It was an expected behavior for me, for him to cry. In fact, if he didn't cry, I'll be worried as a mother, because it's an age appropriate behavior for him to cry. He's just 4 years old. Imagine something he's used to. He always look forward to it after service. He just run there, get as many snacks or whatever he wants. He always look forward to it. So imagine him not having it. What would you expect? He will play tantrum. Or in the midst of those tantrums, I didn't go along playing tantrums with him. No, I cuddled him. I carried him. There was a time I backed him, even with his weight. I backed him. Me doing that was being firm, at the same time warm. Me doing that was helping him to regulate his emotions. That's what child will help our children learn. That's why childhood is important, because it teaches children how to regulate their emotions. And before you know, he forgot about it. He does not even remember if there's anything, there again. He's not used to it. And it helps build imaginations and problem solving. Those games, those play, those jumping that your children are doing, imaginations is taking place, creativity is taking place, problem solving is taking place. Like the other time, myself and my kids during summer, yes, we were going to the park. And then suddenly I realized I was carrying their bag. And I just, excuse me, why am I carrying you guys' bag? Oma had her scooter, and then Golden had his bike. And I said, come on, carry your snack. After all, the snacks inside is not for me, it's for them. They are the ones going to have it. I said, carry it. I don't know. And then this was like, oh, you carry, you can. I'm like, okay, you guys turn your thinking cap on. However you want to do it is your choice. And you know what they did? They came up with, they hang the bag. How do I explain it now? They just hang the bag. There's a way they did it. They hang the bag on, two of them, like they came up with the idea. One of part of the bag was on Golden's bike, and the other part was on Omar's bike. And then they were just going and they were having fun. They were singing. We are the best. Is on my this in my social media, Facebook. They were just singing, and that was them problem solving. I didn't need to tell them what to do or how to carry it themselves or how to figure it out. It was their problem, so they figured it out themselves. That is what we childhood can help a child achieve. It shapes a child's self-worth. A child, yeah, who has good childhood will not get into adulthood and be looking for someone to validate him or not, until someone say, oh, that job is a good one for you, take it, before the child will take it. Or, oh, that dress is good on you, before he will get it on or have it on. No, you will not, they will not need or have any reason to look for, validation. Also, it creates secured relationship. Children who experience affections, love, like the other day, we talked about 5 love languages, right? We talked about the power of saying to your children, I love you, showing them love, affections, and all that, and understanding their love languages. Because if they don't experience it, what do you think will happen in adulthood? Remember, again, it is not about now, it's about the future. Everything we do today, the ripple effect will come in the future. So also it balances ambitions and natural gifts with peace. You know, Someone asked, I'm going to throw more light on this last point, because someone asked me a question that is regarding or related to what we are talking about. I will answer it later. So a good childhood doesn't make a child lazy. That your child have a child, that your child is a child does not mean they will not. Or how do I put it now? That we are saying let your child enjoy their childhood does not mean when you see or discover their natural talents, you not do anything about it. No, a good childhood doesn't make a child lazy or you make that child lazy. No, it makes them whole. They learn they can chase dream and also enjoy life at the same time. That's where that balance we're talking about. I'll throw more light on it because of time. Now let's see. Think of a child, like I always says, think of a child like a tree, like the root of a tree. When you see the root of a tree, it has like those is it stick now, all over, some will be facing, but they are all like connected to each other, isn't it? So when if that root, if it's deeply rooted, no matter the wind, it will still stand strong, nothing will happen. So if a child never had a chance if a child never had a chance to maybe play, run around, like all of those skills we talked about, the problem solving, critical thinking that you prepare them for in their childhood, they don't have all of those things. What do you think will happen when they win, when life eventualities happen, when things happen, when they get into adulthood, when it's time for them to make decisions, what do you think will happen? They will just so see your child, like I always say, our aim is to raise our child, to be holistically raised, to raise them emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, academically, to have them balanced, not just to thrive in one area. If they thrive in one area and the rest of them is not it's not, we didn't do anything in the rest of them, it will be a problem. And if they thrive in four and just maybe the emotional aspect is missing, it will be a huge problem. No child thrives without emotional intelligence. So they need all of them to have a balanced what? A balanced adulthood. And these are the things we need to prepare them for. Remember, we said childhood is a period of preparation, is a period of divine preparation into what? Adulthood. I hope someone is still with me. I hope you can still hear me. Can someone make some comments in the comment section? Now, let's say people who had their childhood taken away from them. The first I have here is Michael Jackson. I had a full story of him. I covered him on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. This is a child at the age of 5. In fact, he didn't even have relationship with his dad. His dad never allowed him to call him a father. He called him Michael. He said, "Don't call me. I'm not your. Just call me Michael. Don't call me dad." His dad was a very, very authoritarian. If you know what parenting style mean, you know what authoritarian, very strict discipline. It's not even discipline, punishment. Very strict father. Any little mistake, is beating, punishment, and all of that. So that was the kind of home he grew up. At 5, according to him, he was just in his room, laying his bed or something like that, and he was just singing. And his mom, where is that voice? Who is singing? Who's got this melodious voice? And the mom just peeped to trace, like she just traced the voice, and boom, it was his room. So Michael, you can sing like this. Oh wow, your dad needs to hear you out. Um, Dad, okay. And she went to tell the dad. The dad was like, "No, he can sing." The mom was like, "Hear him out. He can sing. He sings so well. I just heard him sing. He just said," and already his other siblings, they were already singing. They were already like he already had four of his siblings singing already. They already have a group. No, he can sing. He can't sing. He's not a good singer. And his mom was like, "Please, just hear him out. I know he's not, but just hear him out. If you hear him out, you're going to agree with me." And reluctantly, he just said, "Okay, go ahead and sing." And he sang. He sang as usual, sang his heart out. And once the dad heard him sing that minute, he he made him join the group, and immediately he made him the group leader you know, and that was it. According to him, there was no time to play. There was nothing like play in their dictionary. It's either they are rehearsing, they are performing on stage, or they are taking photo shoot, or they are granting interview, or like there's always something to do. It was just about performance. It was about the money. It was about the stage and all of that. There was nothing like childhood. And the thing that even feared me most is, according to him, he said when they are having rehearsal like this, their father will sit on a chair watching them with what? Koboko cane. He said if they miss any step, oh my God, he will give them the beating of their life. If you miss any step while preparing for the performance or the big day, he said he will beat the hell out of them. And even while they're on the stage, performing, he said he will still sit and be watching them. If any of them misses any step, once they get back home, he will give them the beating of their life. He said it was so bad that the presence of his father, like just hearing his father or seeing his father just pass like this, he will vomit. He said sometimes he would just faint. He would just collapse. You know. He said there were many times he would be maybe rehearsing or on this rehearsing or something, and then he would hear maybe children playing in the park or something. He said he always longed to just go and play with them for just few minutes. He always wants to just but he was not allowed. There was nothing like play. So he didn't have a childhood. His childhood was completely lost, you know. And you wonder how he ended. How you do before he passed, he built his is it Netherland or something? Neverland. What was it? Let me see. Let me be sure of the name. He built, yeah, Neverland Ranch. He filled it with what? Amusement park, like children. It was like a children. He just filled it with children stuff, adventures. He would play with children. Children were, or he surrounded himself with children. What was he doing? He was trying to relieve himself of those things that he didn't have. He was trying to get back that childhood he didn't have. You see pictures of him playing, jumping in the pool. The children would push him. He would push them. They would just run around. He was just trying to get what he didn't have as a child. That is it. We'll look at the negative effects very soon. Now, what lesson? You say when we take play away, rest and emotional connection from our children in the name of discipline or success, they will end up spending their adulthood trying to recover it. That was what Michael Jackson was trying to do. He was trying to recover it with by him surrounding himself with children, making his house, made it turn it into children adventure and like a playground and stuff like that. Another person we're going to talk about is Regina Daniels. I know many of you are aware of her news, she's everywhere, all over social media and all that. But the truth is, this is a little child. Many people are blaming her. That's good for you. You went for money, blah, 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 blah. But this is the truth. This is a child at the age of 5. She started acting at a very tender age. At 5, she was already acting. While her mate was playing, hide and seek, she was maybe practicing or reading her script or just doing something. She didn't have that time to play. She was just imagine a little child at 5. And if you check that time, you see that she was literally like the only child, Nigerian only child that was acting at that time. So meaning the pressure would be much on her. There will always be role for her to, to act and all that. Hmm. I hope you can still hear me. There was that pressure, that pressure. And another thing is, where's my notes? Sorry, give me a minute. Another thing is, this is a child at a very tender age. She's the first female child, right? That means in Igbo land, she's the Ada, Adobi, Adezi, Adowiri. All the Ada. She's the first Ada, the number one Ada. And you know what it means for the relationship between a father, the relationship with father and their first Adas. You know what it means. So this is a child that she didn't have it because her both parents, they separated at a very while she was still young. So the father that was supposed to be her protection, that was supposed to be her first love, that was supposed to be her safety, affection, show her love and all of that, he was not there, was completely present. And then coupled with her role as an actress. Also coupled with the fact that, according to her, she said she was so responsible for she was solely responsible for the finances of her family. So meaning it was from all of those acting and everything that the finance or the source they run their home. So everything was coming literally from her. So you can imagine the pressure. And then before you know what happened again, she at 18, no, I think people were saying 15, 17 or 16, she got married. Do you think she getting married to that man, do you think to Ned Nwoko, do you think a lot of people were saying or are saying she went because of money? Do you think it's really because of money? She didn't really go because of money. It wasn't money. It was love. She thought there was love. She thought, like I said, the father that was supposed to be in her life, the father that was supposed to be her first love, that she was supposed to, have build that connection with, that affection, that was supposed to be the first one to say I love you and all of that. The father that was supposed to be her first place of safety, security, protection was not there. So when she found this man, what do you think happened? She thought, okay, this man can give it to me. He's far older than me. and then she yearned for it. And also remember, at age 17 or 16 that she met that man, she was a child. Remember, we said when we're defining childhood, a child is from 0 to 18. So at 17, she was, even at 18, she's still a child. Because what did I say? What did I say? I say it takes a child's brain to be fully developed at 25. 25, a child will be, it takes 25 years of a child for their brain to be fully developed. So that decision to make to marry that man at that age, do you think it was her fault? Do you think she knew what she was doing? Do you think she made the right decision? Many of us at that stage, did we not take some other terrible decisions that today, if you even look back, you'll be like, how did I even do it? Why did I even, like, if you think about it, you don't even want to, like, you'll be like, how did I even do it? Why did I even do it? You just laugh over it. So the same thing happened to her. And that's why when it comes to marriage, relation, especially marriage, because marriage has to do with life and destiny. You see, there are some things we shouldn't play with as a parent. Honestly speaking, we shouldn't play with it. We should not joke with it because that child, she just acted based on, she acted, there's what I always call age appropriate behavior. She acted based on her age. And what she did was expected behavior. She was just a child. And that's why we have parents, we have friends, we have relations, we have aunties, uncles, church communities around us, so that they can guide us, so that they can help us. Remember, part of our childhood is for us to be cared, is for children to be cared for, it's for us to care for our children, for us to protect them and to guide them because sometimes they don't know what they are doing. That's why we are there to just guide them. That's why they have us in their life. You are here as a parent, your child wants to take decision who to marry. Mommy, I want this one. Because if you listen to her, before people were accusing her mom, it was her mom that forced her or made her marry and blah, blah, blah. She has come out openly to say it wasn't her mom. Even her siblings have come, it wasn't her mom. She chose it. In fact, they kicked against it, but she refused. Why did she refuse? Because she thought she was going to find love. She thought she would find safety, security, protection in him. And then she went ahead. Now, as a parent, what would you have done if he's your child? Would you fold your hands and say, "Oh, I've spoken. Oh, she's not listening. Now she know anything she see, she go manage her." You just fold your hand and let your child, like you're seeing like a hole or a fire, and then you let your child jump into it because she's not listening. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do as a parent? As a parent, you just fold your hands and just see your child falling into fire, and then you do nothing about it. Why are you then a parent? Why do we parent with wisdom? Can you not pray? Can you not lay your hands? Can you not call friends to come? I'm talking to this child. It looks like she's not listening. Can we pray? Can you not hold hands and pray and cry to God? God, separate them, God, scatter the relationship. Can you not do that as a parent? You know, you open your eyes and just leave your child to just make such, you're not the first wife, not the second wife, not the third, not the fourth, fifth, the child, as tender as that child. So everyone blaming that child, honestly. Mm-mm. Another thing that happened to her is, if you remember, she said she is solely responsible for the finance of that home, meaning all the finance, everything, the income of that home comes from her acting. Now, a child, and there's what we call parentification. And what part of what happened to that child was purely parentification. She became, and what is parentification self in the first place? Parentification is where a child is playing the role of adults, and it comes in different forms. Some is because of maybe due to life eventuality, they just find themselves, playing that adult role, taking care of their siblings, some supporting their children and parents financially and all that. So, uh, I don't know how to put it. So, part of what happened to her was parentification. As a parent, like we have this parental responsibility to look after our child, to care for our child, to provide for them, to care for them, to nurture them, isn't it? But when you let your child take that role, what do you think will happen? You might not be able to talk to that child. You might not be able to tell that child, don't do this, and the child will listen to you. After all, I'm the one taking care of you. What do you have to give me? You know, there were many factors as to how everything played out. Parentification was a major role. If you're a parent here and you are just letting your children take responsibility, especially when it comes to finance, how do you think your child is going to respect you? Or how do you think your child is going to, is there anything wrong if your child is making money? There's nothing wrong. But when they are fully taking full custody of you, doing everything, you lost your authority as a parent. And your authority is not force, it is respect. You lost it. That's the truth. Perhaps the parent, like she said they spoke, but because they didn't, the finance is not there. After all, the finance is coming from them. So if they talk too much now, they might not have it. She might close it. And that was it. I remember if a father called me the other day, was telling me that the only mistake he made was sending his child abroad. Why? Because the child, according to him, immediately he got to abroad, he became haywire, very rebellious. He will not call, he will not go to church. It just became like, this wild animal, and the dad regretted bitterly sending him abroad. And do you know what the child said? That the day, I think the dad one of those days, I think on the Sunday or so, called him and like, oh, you didn't go to church today. Why? And the child said, the next time you call me and ask me about church, that will be the last time I'm going to call you. I'm going to send you your money again. And do you think, do you think the child called the dad said anything again? He didn't say it because he was scared. Because if he asked him again now, the child already threatened him that if he reminds him or asks him anything about church again, that will be the last time. And because of that fear, he didn't, his parental responsibility or parental obligation, he just let it down. And what do you expect? Because the child is the source of his livelihood. You see how sometimes how we get it all wrong. You see how sometimes how we relegate our parental authority to our children consciously and unconsciously. There's a lot of wisdom here. And another thing is, I hope you can still hear me. If you can hear me, please put it in the comment section. Another thing is, like I always tell parents, like there was a case that happened recently. No, last year, sorry. A lady was still this issue of marriage. A lady wanted to go married, and everybody, oh, don't, because there were so many red flags. It was so glary and all that, but she wouldn't listen. And then she went in. Do you know what? If not for the mercy of God, he would have cost her life because it almost took her life. It's almost like it was just the mercy of God. Why am I saying this? You see, sometimes when your children are taking, especially when it comes to marriage, there are some things we as an adult or adults we see. A child, even if they climb up, they are not seeing it. And sometimes you see them, they are already clouded. Love have already clouded their sense of judgment. So they don't even know what they are doing. They don't know. And even if the thing is glaring their eyes, they are not seeing it because everything they are thinking about is love, is love. So that is where you step in as a parent. That is where if you care about that child, you love that child so much. Friends, families, you can't just fold your hand and say, oh, I've said, and now I know anything we see make him manage am. Because the truth is, when that wahala will start, it's not only the child that will face it though. You, the parents, will face it. The sibling, the entire family, even the whole society. Now, this case of Regina Daniel, is she the only one facing it now? It has turned to everybody's case. She's not the only one facing it. So when the consequence, is it not better we prevent the consequences before it happens with your strength as a woman, with the strength as a parent? What strength do you have? What power do you have? What authority do you have? Another person we're going to look at is Selena Gomez. She started performing. Remember, we're talking about those who lost their childhood. Another person is Selena Gomez. She started performing at the age of 7. We need to run because of time. At the age of 7, she was launched into Disney fame when she became the lead in Wizard of Waverly Place at the age of 15. Do you know what that means? At the age of 15. This alone turned her life, into one of the most recognizable faces of her generation. But again, the pressure, the responsibility. She was her family was from a very poor background. So she was a family's breadwinner even before she was 18. That kind of responsibility forced her to grow up fast. It made her grow up into adulthood so fast. Now, see what she said. I didn't have a normal upbringing. My childhood was completely taken away from me. That is it. Even they will know when they get to adult, they will know. They will know. They will definitely know. And do you think as she wrote it, do you think she wrote it, she was proud of it? Do you think she's happy with typing it when she was typing it? Do you think she was typing it with a smiling face? Now, what about the emotional throw and all of that? At the end of the day, it cost her mental health, the pressure, the fame, the high expectations and everything. It cost her mental health. It led her to struggle with anxiety, depression, and at the end of the day, bipolar disorder. you know. However, what about Drew Barrymore? She was just 7 when she started performing, and by age 9 or at 9, she was already drinking alcohol. By 10, she was smoking marijuana. By 12, she was using cocaine. At 13, hmm, she already entered into rehab for the first time. And at 14, her mother placed her in a psychiatric institution for over a year. Over a year. And at 15, do you know what she did? She disassociated herself from her family, from her parents. And now, she didn't do this because she wanted freedom or anything. No, she did it because she had no place to return to. She didn't see any need. She felt they took her childhood away from her. So she didn't see need to associate with them. So when you are 13 and addicted. She said, when you are 13 and addicted, the world has already chewed you up. You don't even know what childhood is. Mine was gone. Oh, before I understand it. Can you see? Can you feel the pain? And many other, but because of time, I will not be able to cover the rest of them. Because of time, we need to just run. So another thing I'd like to talk about is how are we taking childhood away from our children? How are we taking it? First, I'll say is we are just overshadowing them with, activities. Many modern parents have no breathing space. Activity, your child is doing this, your child is doing that, your child is doing this. One child, no time to play, no time to be a child, no time to laugh, no time to even connect with this child, no time to, just gist with the child and spend quality time with the child. All the child you're after is activities, school, work, learning, ABC, maths, and all that. When we do this, we're taking childhood away because the pressure will be there. That's the truth. When we do this, then we take childhood away from our children. Now, another is their dressing, the way they look. This is very common. You see a 3 years old is already looking like an adult, with the kind of dressing. Imagine a 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old having wig on their head. What do they need it for? And the sad thing about these things, you see them wearing makeup and all of those things. Like sometimes when I see this thing, like I feel so I just feel I wish they know better. Because sometimes they do it all in the name, I want my child to be beautiful, and it doesn't even make the children look beautiful. It doesn't make them look like a child. Have you seen a child looking like a child? Where you do the weave and just the child will just look natural and very beautiful. But by the time you start adding all this makeup, doing all this hair, the child is no longer looking like a child. Remember, I said every child is a child. Let a child look like a child. So when we dress them, a 3 years old, you are dressing the child. You know what I'm saying now. We see them all over social media everywhere. A dressing that a child decent and responsible. No, you are tearing skirts, fitting, bum showing everything. All of that with that child look like a child. You're already taking that child, you're pulling that child, you're making that child act and look like adults, which is not a good thing. Even their hairstyle, let them look like a child, let them act like a child. When you force them to behave like a child, you're taking childhood away from them. When you deprive them of play, like I always say, is the work of a child. Let children play, let them jump around, let them do childish things. Let them, because in adulthood, they will always, oh, when I was a child, oh, I used to play in the garden, I used to do this jumping, I used to do this play. They will always remember it and it will be a memory for them. Let them play. Play is the work of a child. There's no play can never be too much for a child. Play can never be too much. And you know the funniest thing? You see, when a child is sometimes they just say, play, play, all you know is play, play. That what can annoy me. All you know is play, 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 play. Without you realizing that in that play, learning, a lot of things are going on. Creativity is going on, imagination is going on, learning is taking place, problem solving is taking place without you even realizing. They learn more from all those play than the maths and English. Come and sit down, 1+1. They learn more because they learn a lot of skills in that play. What about risk taking? You see a child jump. They know that if they fall, they are likely to hurt themselves, but they don't care. They will jump and do you know the learning that took place there? Do you know the calculation they would have done, the risk and everything? And when they do all those things, they are building resilience. We talked about resilience. We talked about life eventualities. If you don't let them express this thing in childhood, what happens when they get to adulthood? What's going to happen? And if they face it in hand, how are they going to handle it? How are they going to manage it? Because the truth is, it's going to happen. Life will always happen at any point, at any time. It will happen. How are they going to face it? How are they going to manage it? If they don't start practicing it, a child will fall. And the next thing is you are rescuing the child. Oh, that's good for you and all that. Instead of to show empathy, instead of you to cuddle the child, oh, are you okay? And all that. Oh, show empathy. But instead, some of you even beat the child on top, for being a child. When you do that, what do you think you're doing? How would you let the child learn how to regulate his or her emotions? And these are the things these children needs to learn. Remember, we talked about that period of preparation. When they do all these things, that is you preparing them for the future. Now let's see the effect. I'm trying to rush because of time. Let's see the effect of taking childhood away from child. What are the effects? First is loss of identity. That's the truth. Loss of identity. When children are made to act like adults too early, they lose touch with who they really are. They lost touch of who they are. They lost touch of being a child. They lost it completely. Like see the case of Michael Johnson. He never had childhood, no friends, no playmates, no nothing ever at all. If you listen to his interview, you can you feel the pain. You feel if you hear him talk, you feel the pain for him. You know that really he was lonely. Even if he was up there, he was lonely, lonely. He tried to recreate it as an adult through Neverland Ranch, a clear sign of emotional emptiness. What about Selena Gomez? She said, I don't think I ever had a normal childhood. Now, what about, remember, we're talking about the effect, right? The second one is emotional and mental struggle, the pressure to perform. Imagine a 5 years old child. Every now and then you're all over the place. Today you are granting interview. Tomorrow you're acting. Next tomorrow you're reacting. You're taking photos and all that. Every day, no time to play and all that. It will affect the pressure to even when you want to jump. Oh yeah, come on, time to go. The pressure will be there. That's the truth. And when this pressure is too much on a child, remember there's what we call what they call developmental stage. There's what a child should be able to handle at a particular stage or at a particular period of their life. Giving a child the the workload that is not development according to their stage, there will be so much pressure, and at the end of the day will lead to mental health and even burnout and all that. Another is, I'm just trying to rush, difficulty forming healthy relationship. They will find it difficult because imagine childhood, they didn't even learn how to communicate. They didn't have time to make friends. They didn't have time to build relationship. They didn't have time to play. Maybe they go to play group or give me my toy. I had it first. When they are dragging those things, they are learning, isn't it? They are learning. They are learning a lot of skills. They are learning emotion. They are learning social skills. They are doing all of those things. A child that didn't have time to do all of those things, what do you think will become his outcome in adulthood? So they'll find it difficult to even know how, they will not even know how to, oh, hi, I'm Dumebi. They will not even know how to say it first. They will not know how to start a relationship, even when they will make a mess of it because in childhood they didn't learn it. So that's the thing. And now, okay, let's say, for example, okay, which one again? Another is they will constantly seek validation, constantly, until you tell them, oh, this hair looks good on you. That's when they will believe that it looks good on them. That's when they can wear it confidently. Until you tell them, oh, this career, oh, go for it. That's what is in vogue. That's when they want to go for it. If nobody validate them, they want to do anything, they are calling, oh, what do you think? I wanted to do this, what do you think? That's they don't have they can't do anything until someone tells them it's okay to, or go ahead of it, go ahead and do it. They can't take initiative, they can't problem solve, until you tell them do it before they will do it. Is that the kind of child you want to raise? They want to always, every time they want to prove a point, any little thing they are explaining themselves, just to prove a point, just for them to seek that validation, you know and that was the case of Regina Daniel. Remember when she was still married, or when she was still living with him? Every time she was posting, she was writing, my dear, my this, money. She was just showing literally everything. What was she trying to do? She was seeking validation. She was making it look like all was well. Trying to prove a point to people that everything was well. She's happy, she's enjoying, she's this and that. But was it really the outcome? Was it really the case? So that is it. Now let's see. And then emotional immaturity, because they have not learned to express themselves. They have not learned, they don't even know what they feel as a child, how they feel, what they feel. They don't know their emotions and all that. How will they learn to be able to regulate their emotions? How will they learn to manage their emotions in adulthood? So these are another, like someone like Michael Johnson, you know, his child behavior as an adult reflected part of his life that was missing. His behaviors, imagine you'll be playing with children, sometimes when he's talking, you just feel it. I wish maybe some of you, if you have the time, just type his videos on childhood or lost childhood. You understand what I'm trying to say. And then there's this burnout as well, when the child is just doing too much, it will burn them out. There's something a child, there's what we call developmental stage. A child should be able to, like, let a child learn according to their pace, let a child learn according to their developmental stage or developmental age. Just like, say, for my son example, he just September he started reception, isn't it? Before he started the reception, my friends, like in Nigeria, they will always tease me that, and then before he started, he could barely read 1 to 20. To be honest, he could barely, because I've never taught him. He started nursery when he was 6 months old. So even in nursery, they don't teach them all those A, B, 1, 2. They don't do it. It's play they do. Play, 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 messy, all kinds of play. That's what they do. And me, I wasn't teaching him. Instead, when he comes home, we are playing, we are doing crafts, we're just doing all of those things. I've never, before got into he started reception. I didn't one day sit him down to say I want to start teaching him once. No, because he didn't need it. I needed to lay the right foundation for him. I needed to develop his thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, and everything. So instead, I focused my his play around all of those things. And then by so doing, I was laying the right foundation so that when it was time, when the time come for him to start relearning, it will be easy for him. And that is what happened. He started September here. As I speak to you, he's reading already. His sound now, he can blend his sound. He's read, like when I say he's reading, he's just 4. Before 5 years or before he turned 5, there's nothing you bring that he'll not be able to pronounce. The same thing happened to the sister. She's a free reader in their class. There's nothing you bring that she cannot pronounce, she cannot read. It was the same thing I did. So why put pressure on children? Why make them learn something that is beyond, above their developmental stage? Because when you do that, or you've not laid the right foundation, they will struggle to learn it. They will struggle. And why the process of struggle, you are smacking, you're raising their voice, even them too, they are finding it difficult because their brain is not developmental ready for it. Or like when the brain is developmental ready, by the time you start teaching them, they will just be grasping it. Like it will be like magic. It will be like magnet. As you're saying it, they're just understanding it. Why? Because you have laid the right foundation already for them. And that is what has happened. The other day, I went for their parents' evening. I felt so good of myself. I felt so proud. I felt proud. Like I was that proud parent when I was going. Imagine a teacher telling you whatever you're doing, keep doing it because she's at the top. Yes. And we don't even do learning every day. We don't do learning every day. I don't see them down Monday to Sunday or Sunday to Sunday. No, we don't do it. We have days we do learning. We have days we do other things because life does not revolve around learning. Have you ever thought of it that the skills that we all need to thrive in this life is the same thing? Problem solving, and critical thinking, emotional intelligence, all of those things. Those are the skills. Did you see where they say maths and English in it? So so we don't do learning every day, and they are doing very well. It's not pride anything, but it's just the truth. So when you push your children beyond what you are forcing them, and you see the children, they might struggle and get it, but then if you tweak now, this is the thing. They might get it fine. You might think they are said, tweak it, they'll get confused. Ask them question in another way. They will not be able to think there's what we call critical thinking. What we call problem solving. You see, when my children, when they come back home in the evening before we sleep, we have a routine. 10 minutes before bed, we do that. We call it presentation. What is that presentation? They talk about everything they did from when mommy dropped them till when I picked them up. And the way you say, the way they will be explaining, when Godin he's explaining, he will tell the sound he learns. He will tell you the sound he learns, and the way he will explain it, he will give you examples. He will make sentences with the sound. You will know that he's not cramming it. You will know that truly he understood it. Why? Because a foundation has been laid. Same thing with the sister. By the time you ask them question, the way they will explain it, you know that this is not maybe like cramming or any. You will know that they really understand it, and the way they will answer you questions like this, even you will be wild. So that is what it means. Teach them at their pace. There is no point, competing or putting yourself because one child is, reading 1 to 300. That is their problem. That is their business. Focus on your own. Focus on your child, and do the right thing. You see your child excel without stress. God help us. So, yeah, and then the next one I want to talk about is what can we do to help our children enjoy childhood? I've said it, let them play. Play is the work of a child. There's nothing like too much play. There's nothing like you play too much. Let them play because in that play, like I said, a lot of skills, a lot of learning is taking place. Let them play. My children, when I pick them from school, we get home like nearly 4 o'clock, a few minutes to 4. They take their clothes off. They have lunch. When they finish their lunch, what do? They go and play. They'll play. If the weather is, they will go. Sometimes they will wear their jacket. They are in the garden. I have a massive. They are playing, doing whatever they want to do. It's not about learning. And then when they finish, then 5, like I said, we have our learning days is Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Then 5 o'clock, we now see that, okay, come on, what do we need to learn? And then we do what, even that 1 hour that we have to learn, they will still have break. They will still have break. You hear my son, mom, it's not my break time yet. Mom, it's not my break time yet. They will still have like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes in between, because you can't just sit them. Play is so important. You can never, how do I say it now? You can never overemphasize the importance of playing a child. Let them play. There's nothing like your child is playing too much. It is as the more they play, the more their brain is developing, the more a lot of things is going on in their brain. So let them play. There's nothing like you play too much or no, let them play. And then another one is listen more than you lecture. Like, oh, sorry, let me plug my laptop. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. My laptop is about to go off. Sorry about that. I hope you can still hear me. And then I was talking about, you know, instead of lecturing your child is something, instead of, talk, preach, all of those, just listen to them. Children learn more when you listen to them. When you listen to them, you build more connection. When you let them talk, because sometimes when they behave in a certain way or in a way that you do not expect, or yes, in a way you don't expect, sometimes if you hear them out, there's a reason why they did it in most cases. So in that situation, why okay, come and tell me, why did you do this? I've told you not to do it, or this is not expected of you. Why did you do it? And hear them. And sometimes it's just a mistake. It's just a mistake. Sometimes it's just still them being a child. Remember we said every child, it's just them exhibiting their childhood behavior. It's just them, exhibiting expected behavior or developmental behavior. It's okay. You have to do is correct them, and help them, teach them how to behave better so that they will know what to do next time, and then protect their innocence. How do you protect it? With the way you dress them, with the things you expose them to, especially in this world of social media, internet. What are your children watching? What are they watching? Who is speaking to them? What are they seeing? Who are they listening to? What are they seeing? The other day I had opportunity to interview over 10 teenagers. Many of them are, and these children, they are between the age of 9 and 12. 95% of them are on TikTok. There's no regulation. There's no parental regulation on their phone. They just have it whenever they have it in this country. So who are they listening to? What are they watching? How are you dressing them and all of that. When you do this is really taking, yeah, this when you do all of these things, you are teaching them, like you're not taking childhood away from them. And then there's a question somebody asked me. Let me see if I can find that question. It was concerning the post, and then slow down, protect their innocence, then slow down, like all this rush. You want your children to just, 5 years old, you want them to be doing things of a child 10 years old. Calm down. There's no rush. Calm down. Remember, 0 to 18 years is a long period of time, for them to learn anything you want them to learn. So calm down, take it easy with them. Don't rush them. Um don't take childhood away from them, all in the name of you just, there's this competition, this maths and English, house learning, lecturing, and you don't. Calm down, calm down. Whatever you want your children to achieve, they will still achieve it. Now, think of many of us as adults. If most of us, we could still find our feet, despite the way we were raised, despite many of us, we didn't have good upbringing. Our parents didn't get it right in terms of parenting. Many of us, we still found our feet. We're still able to, figure things out. If we can still, like, we turn that way, how much more our children that we are raising intentionally? Why do you think they will not turn out well? Why are you being so pressured? Why is there so much parental pressure, competition, rivalry? Your child, that child is playing football, your own child. Mm-mm. You remember, every child got their own unique strengths, their skills, and everything. So focus on your child. Your child is your child. And then this issue of, oh, my child will have like all these awards, stickers, all of those things. It's still pressure. Your child, maybe you go to school and you see one child getting all the awards, they're calling, all the recognition, and then the next thing you're turning to your child. Do you not have the same head? In fact, you're even older than her. Is it not the same head two of you have? Does she have two heads? What is that? That's pressure already. That's pressure. Don't compete. There's no point. Focus on your child. Like, say for example, my daughter, she does gymnastics and she's 6 years old. The age group, most of the children in that group, they already, some of them, they turned six since they were since September, since January, December. So imagine the age gap. And sometimes she will come with sticker. For me, honestly speaking, it's not about whether she comes with sticker. Yeah, sticker. Sticker na like you did well, because what they do after the after they finish their gymnastics, before they go there, so all of them will line up like this, and then whoever they feel did well, they call the person out, and then everybody will clap for the child, and then they will give the child sticker, like, just like recognition. And you see that period, once it's that period, you see some parents, they will be stretching their neck. Some of them will go and stand at the door because they want to see who, and most of them are wishing is their child and all that. And you see some of them, and you didn't get sticker today, that means you didn't do well. Why is it about sticker? Remember, this sticker, whoever that is giving it is based on what they think. And remember the age gap. All of them are not the same age. All of them are not developing at the same stage. So for me, it's not, my own is, let her have fun. Let her do whatever she needs to do. I always tell her, "Mama, it's not about sticker or no sticker. Just be your best. Do whatever you can do. But sticker or no sticker, I still love you. Okay, I will be so foolish, or it will be so stupid of me to be comparing her with people that are already 6 years, 7 months, 6 months older than her. And funny enough, she's still every now and then she's still coming with sticker. But for me, I don't even care. I honestly don't care. I don't care as long as she's enjoying herself. I don't. She's enjoying her childhood. That is what matters. So let's calm down. Let me see if I can find that question that somebody asked me. Sorry, just give me a moment. Let me find it on Facebook. Where is it? Um, so she said, where is it? Okay, so she said, you in many cases. So it was a case, it was a post about Regina Daniel, and then I expressed myself that most of the many a times is because of um the the what's it called? The father, the lack of father's presence, and many other things that contributed to her decision, her age, and everything contributed. Like, talk about so many factors that were responsible for the decision she made. And then she said, you, in many cases, we seem to hide our bad. Oh, no, that is not it. Where is this? Sorry, let me find it. Okay, here. It says, how about catching them young? Proponents. It is believed that skills are better learned and mastered at a young age. Hence, the developed world starts skills training as early as 2 to 3 years for a better result, which is true. I'm not doubting it. Her question is very correct, but this is the truth. So that leads me now to how do we balance? Now, we're not going to say, remember, we're talking about childhood, how to help our children experience joy in childhood, how to help them experience their childhood, enjoy their childhood, not taking childhood away from them, all in the name of parenting, all in the name of dressing and all of that, how we can prepare them into adulthood, right? Now, I know some people will be wondering, okay, because we have seen the negative effects, are you now going to say, oh, if you discover your child natural talent, you are not going to, start developing it, you're not going to do anything about it because you don't want childhood to be taken away from your child? Are you going to do that? Are you going to fold your hand and just leave your child, even why the natural gifts, everything is glaring, you don't is staring at you, it's so obvious, you don't want to do anything? No. That's why we say, as an intentional parent, there's what we call balance in everything. Like I said, if you're intentional, and especially when it comes to the parenting style, we have the authoritarian, we have the permissive, and then we have the authoritative. For that authoritative, a lot of people confuse it with the authoritarian, but it's actually the balance. So that's why I call it the balanced parents. It's like the middle ground, being firm at the same time warm, instead of just being firm, firm, firm and not being warm, but balancing it so you can have a healthy child. So the same thing is applicable here. Your child is young and you are discovering their natural talent, which is beautiful, which is good. But here is the thing. Are you not going to take it to the extreme, like what these parents of these children we mentioned, Michael Johnson, Daniel Jan, Regina Daniel, and the rest, what they did, what their parents did, are you not going to take it to the extent at the end, to the extent that at the detriment of their childhood, at the detriment of their play, are you going to do that? Are you not going to balance it? If you discover your child's talent, there's nothing wrong with it. It is very beautiful, but still balance it. Let your child still play. Let your child have let your child still be a child, in as much as you are still developing that child. Now, I'll give an example. There is a parent. In fact, she's my daughter's friend. We go to park together to play and all that. So every time I see this child, I just know that she's so flexible, the way she's climbing and everything. So one day I spoke to the parent, white child. And I told the parent, have you not seen this child? She's gonna be very good with gymnastic. Register her, and we're like, oh, okay. And then they registered her. The very first day this girl joined, they picked her, they picked her up, and then they met with the parents. Oh, your child is very good, blah, blah, blah. We would like to train her, specially, because they train them specially if they pick you. And then the condition was like it was just too much for the child. Do you know what the parents did? They turned it down. They turn it down because they know that if they accept that offer, it's going to be at the detriment of their child. It's going to take childhood away from their child. And they didn't do it. I remember there was a time when normally was about two or so, all these modeling agents, they found our picture on Facebook. They sent me the picture and everything. They were like, oh, your child is so beautiful, blah, 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 photogenic. I would like to use her. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So they said I should bring her to London so they can see her, if she can even stand camera, take photos and everything. So we actually went to London. And at the end of the day, she was picked. But then the condition they gave me, then I've not really even started parenting like that. But I know that if I take it, it's going to affect her childhood because her childhood is so important to me. It is the foundation of her future. So I didn't want anything that would rob her of it. Do you think I accepted the offer? I didn't accept it. Even if the money was juicy, the money was sweet. The truth is, life is not about money. Anything that will cost your child's destiny, that will cost their childhood or life, it's not all about money. But the truth is, many of us, once we hear that money, they're going to pay my child, you're going to be paid for it. And then they get carried away. It becomes more of selfishness without realizing that your child is still a child. You just get carried away. Every time it's about, oh, you need to add this way, you need to do this, you need to do that, you're going to be here tomorrow, or you need to add, at the end of the day, the child's welfare, the child being a child is no longer the center. It's not about the money. They don't want to miss out, lifestyle and everything. So that is where the balance comes in. If you have discovered your child's natural talents, beautiful, but then still not take childhood away from your child. When it's time for your child to play, go to the park with other children, let them go. If it's once in a week that they are developing the skills, if you give them, okay, you've seen this in my child, right? Okay, but this is the thing, twice a week. If they say no, fine. It's not a do. Your child will still, you know, it shouldn't be a thing of every day your child does not get to go to parties anymore. They are not playing with their children friends anymore. Just those things that make children to be children, they are no longer enjoying it on the name of natural talent, on the name of somebody have discovered their skills or talent and everything, or on the name of because money is involved. When we do all of that, we are taking childhood away from their children. And again, like I said, it's about the future. We've seen what happened to the people we call. We've seen their end. There's always an end to everything, and there's always, it will always rub off in their adulthood because adulthood will come. And again, remember, children they don't grow in retrogression. No, they're not going to say because my child, okay, he needs to do all these things, and then their child will now wait and hold on. No, as they are growing. Before you know, it's 18 years, and once it's 18, it's 18. You can't retrace it or turn it back. So I believe we've all learned something today. I believe if you can still hear me, if you're still here, you've enjoyed this last session, can you put in the comment section that's one thing that you have learned? What is your take home? What are you going to be doing differently? What have you gained today? For me, play is the work of a child. Let a child play. There's nothing like too much play. And every child is a child. Let's don't take childhood away from children, all in the name of parenting. Let's parent with wisdom. Let's parent with knowledge. Let's be there for our children when they are there to take, decisions and everything. Let's be there with them. If they are doing it the wrong way, let's use our parental authority to pray for them. Pray for them. So when it has to do with life and destiny, that's like marriage or anything. Don't fold your hand and say no. Pray for your child, help your child, guide your child. That's what your child needs, guidance. Guide them. And how do you guide them? You guide them through trust. You guide them through wisdom. Guide them through trust. If you have relationship with your child will trust you. And that trust, when you tell your child, oh, this is what I feel, because your child have trusted you, you have built that trust over time, your child will believe you. Your child will believe you because you have built that trust. So that's why trust, the relationship is so important in our relationship, in our parenting. And how do we do it? It is in the things we do on daily basis. On daily basis. If you didn't learn anything from these Regina Daniels stories or Michael Johnson or all of these people we talked about how their childhood being lost, that means I believe we've learned. I want to believe that we've learned something. So let's keep learning. Let's keep parenting with wisdom, and I trust that God will help us. So once again, thank you so much for joining this live session. I have enjoyed it, honestly. I have enjoyed this, and our live session is back. But the thing is, we'll not be doing it every Sunday. It will be one Sunday in, one Sunday off because of other engagements. So next week we're not going to be in. Then upper week we'll come back again. So it'll be one Sunday. So apparently it'll be twice in a month. So one Sunday in, one Sunday off, one Sunday in, one Sunday off. So thank you so much once again. Have a good and a lovely evening. Bye.